Hello and welcome back. It is ridiculously hot in my room and I have no idea why. This light is probably the main culprit. But despite the hot heat emanating throughout the room, we will continue with part 2 of DIMAGA vs MVP. So here's a situation that DIMAGA wound himself up in. We can see the units lost, definitely bad for MVP, good for DIMAGA. Lost a base, no big deal. The drone count is the important thing. Just some numbers. So 16 drones is optimal on one base for the minerals. Like, so for instance, here, this 18 drone location, little bit too high. Okay, so there's 3 in each geyser, so that's another 6. What's 16 plus 6? 22. Yeah! So in other words, to have optimal drone count on each base is 22, 44, 66, 88. Cool. In other words, if we lose this base, it doesn't really matter because we just transfer 22 drones down to this base. Why would we want a 5th base? It will give us no additional increase to our mineral income, but it will bump up our gas income. It's very important. If you want to mess up someone's mineral income, kill workers. If you want to mess up their gas income, kill bases. Kill bases. And if you want to win tournaments, kill everything. So nifty. Oh yes, the orange quartet. Adrenal glands, +3, +3, and soon enough, chitinous plating. Ah yes, the 4 orange upgrades. DIMAGA's still battling to get up a 5th base. This is like a vestigial 5th. It doesn't really matter as much as this one. But that's fine. DIMAGA has the funds. Still being ultra passive, but this Zergling's doing some work. This Zergling over here, actually he's not really doing some work. He's not really doing anything. This other watchtower would be a nice place to be, to check this up on this base. Because right now we see, nope, absolutely nothing. So, I mean, we're just trying to stay alive, get our 5 bases up. Our good old delay tactic infestors are going to be rather helpful. Little eensy teensy chews up at the front. DIMAGA's just playing this so defensively, which I love. I just love this defensiveness. Whoopsie daisies, not putting dudes in gas. Oh my gosh, how embarrassing. I just love this extreme... Ugh! I love that extremely prudent Mutalisk usage. Some hits like that are going to happen, but mine hits are really the only place where MVP is going to be able to get any value. He really should not be getting a lot of value out of these direct Marine Marauder engagements, unless he's pulling DIMAGA really, really thin. The mines are the real damage dealers, so DIMAGA's just like not letting that happen. Planting a couple units over here, spreading the creep over here. This base is up, it's kind of vestigial fit, it's not doing terribly much, it won't be able to do terribly much for a little while. So in this position, what DIMAGA is really trying to do is to get slightly more Banelings, obviously get the Ultralisks out, and just buy time until he can get like a juicy max army. He does have 83 drones, but despite this ordinarily hyper-pressure, tense-filled situation, DIMAGA's not really trying to get in there and do a lot of damage. Not really, said Sean, using the word really for like the 50th time in a row. Not really. Then the Ultralisks come on in. Oh yeah. So here are the places where Terran should get value. Is drops over here, or drops up here. But DIMAGA's just had good vision coverage. And this assault looks like it was largely based on these Ultralisks moving in. The other sort of hidden factor is that DIMAGA looked around and was like, alright, everything good? Everything clear? Alright, cool. Moving right along. I think it's very clear that DIMAGA is now in an excellent position. This base that went down, what's nice is that we had so much money. Didn't really matter if this got killed or cancelled. we'd be in fine shape. Why is DIMAGA able to do that? Because he took a 4th and 5th at the same time. So even by losing this 5th, he's like, oh, okay, cool. I still have plenty of money left over. If DIMAGA had just taken a 4th, he would still be struggling a little bit to be keeping just this alive. It might be at like 50% operation or something, but DIMAGA in good shape now. Only reason DIMAGA is able to lead is because he has overlords, or excuse me, overseers, and very notably, DIMAGA got overlord speed. I actually have no idea when this happened in the game. I would imagine it happened somewhere after the 14-minute mark. Is that right? Okay, cool. Yeah, so why do I say the 14-minute mark? We don't really need overlord speed unless we're planning to attack. And we don't really want to plan to attack until he's done his first attack. But because of this, overseers with speed move at almost 3. Mutalisks move at 4. So it means that the overseers can, for the most part, keep up with everything, all our other Zerg units. And notice this, the instant he sees a mine, instant hightail out of there. So the speed upgrade for the overseer, a critical tool to allow us to move forward and not walk into mines. Because, I mean, it really is kind of a simple statement. Biomine gets all its big value out of huge mine hits. So how do you avoid ever letting him do that? Well, one of the biggest ways is to not walk into the mines unwittingly by having this speed upgrade.
Mineral field.
Simple but effective. Yes, yes. Alright, so we have the spine crawlers going down now. Love these simple statements based upon nice army movement. Okay, cool. We weren't exactly planning on this getting up, but it's up. Okay. We're certainly going to take the connecting base that's in between the two. Because our opponent has a 4th base here, and because we have our base here, we're going to be attacking this. This attack protects this base and protects this base and leaves the left base fairly vulnerable. So DIMAGA's building spine crawlers. Pretend for a moment MVP had this base up. DIMAGA would have his army here, ready to move in, and would be building 5, 6, 7 spine crawlers up here. DIMAGA's going to build a non-zero number of spines up here, but he's not necessarily going to flood with spines. Alright, go MVP. Do it, MVP. Get it done. And by MVP, I mean DIMAGA. Yeah. So, alright. Very simple. 5 base versus 4 base aggression. Our opponent unlikely to have this. Generally, this timing to take a 4th. The way I will describe this timing is that MVP has done some attacking. And now is taking the 4th. That is sort of roundaboutish what he's been up to. So his main should be mined out. His natural should not be in good shape. So in this position, he should be down to about 2 mining bases. It shouldn't really change anything. I just want to note that for mental security. Because if you're playing against MVP, it's very easy to think, oh, he probably can mine more minerals than an average person. No. No. Goodness, no. So a very common attack once we have pushed our opponent back with the lovely help of these speed overseers. We get into position to morph a whole bunch of banelings to do a short range attack. We only really built banelings in large numbers one other time, which was when we were trying to break this stranglehold in mid. So a tragic fate befalls most of those banelings, but regardless, some of the banelings get through. And some pretty good hits go down. Ultras are just really good in general. Nice. Alright, this is one of the best situations to be in this matchup, where you are going to start to lose on efficiency because you're getting in these engagements without all your support units. There's not a lot of Zerglings here, there's not a lot of Infestors here, but that's cool. We have defense set up against these sorts of drop plays on the backside. DIMAGA's pulling everything back. And now, I mean, if I'm DIMAGA, I'm probably just going to be flooding Ling Ultralisk exclusively and trying to absolutely lock him out of a 4th base. Because on this map you can. This is a pretty easy 4th to attack, and this is a pretty easy 4th to attack. Ling Ultra with some infestors and a lot of spine crawlers to boot. Increase in spine crawler count because we don't really know where we want to attack. It's unclear if we're going to have all our units focused here or here, but more importantly, we're just running low on mutas. Running quite low. And there they are! Alright, DIMAGA, my hero. I would begin teching towards a Greater Spire, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I would try to devote too much to the Greater Spire, because this is a pretty gosh darn good position to be in. Pretty gosh darn great. Another nice angle of attack, this time with all our helping friends. Infestors, we've got some Banelings in there. Ooh, yeah, the Infestor Fungals, really juicy, really good. Oh, we didn't break through it. Brr. I'd still call that attack an overall win for us. It's kind of shoving our opponent back. Efficiency-wise, we didn't do that amazingly, and it's because of these mines. Actually, I'm curious. I am curious. What went on? I actually thought he killed all those mines. So maybe I lied to you. Well, I didn't mean to lie to you. It's so rude of me. How did those mines stay alive? I was like 100% convinced they had all died because I thought I saw them die. Did I lie? Oh, where's the Overseer? Oh my God! Okay, well, brr. Where are the Overseers? Oh man! Oh, dude. I don't know when the Overseers died. I don't know what happened. But there should be Overseers in here. If he is going biomine, you should probably have something that can see the mines. Yeah. So this attack was actually terrible. I actually thought he killed a whole bunch of mines, because I was like, alright, well if he killed... I mean, if you kill off, like, 12 mines or something like that, you should be able to build mines 3 at a time, and mines take a long time to build, so it should be several minutes before he has enough to move out again. Yeah, he didn't have any detect. No. Alright, so that's actually clear. Because, like, I was looking... Okay, so, in my head, the reason I thought this was so good is because I thought these were dead. A biomine player will not attack if he has a really low mine count, because it's terrible. We get all our value out of mines if we're biomining. So that was bad. Thank God we have 6 bases. Not a lot of minerals being mined, which is correct, because we should be mining primarily gas. 75 drones, yeah.
Mineral field depleted.
Alright, cool.
Mineral
What do I think about getting the Greater Spire now? What do I think about that? Are there any Overseers being produced? Oh, there's... I found the Overseers! Send out the Overseers. Alright, remember how I said getting a 6th base is hard because they can drop up here? Well, there it is. I guess this is coming up. I'd probably start to be like, ugh, crap. I'd start to poo-poo myself. Preppers to kill off the drops are good. Losing the hatch, not a tremendous deal since we can rebuild it so incredibly easily. But the Broodlord Ultralisk force, I like Broodlord Ultralisk with Ling. Or excuse me, Broodlord Infestor Ling a little more than I like Broodlord Infestor Ultralisk, but a pretty expectable thing winds up going down. So here's a new base. This is probably the more important base right now because it's closest. It's the easiest for our army to hit. And DIMAGA is just going to go straight for the sack. As in sacrifice, not as in the sack. He's just gonna sacrifice the base. So I like that DIMAGA here, once again, waiting a little bit. MVP, I think, did a really brilliant selection, trying to spread himself out so much. And likewise, DIMAGA for doing an equally aggressive job going for the key base, which is this one. So both these players are just expertly trading. But DIMAGA made better defensive decisions at the start, which is why he is in sort of comparably better situation. And this is so good. Look at this decision. A single Ultra goes for this base. Everything else goes here. Now, the wonderful... God, what's Case's online name? It's Kuyokio? I think it's Kuyoki. Good old Kuyoki 0. One thing my friend Case says a lot is, okay, we're in a pretty good situation. Why? Because we have an army of death, we have Broodlords, Infestors, and Ultras. It's very hard for any composition, or I should say, for a Biomine composition to beat that. So we ask ourselves the question, how do I lose? Easiest way to lose in this spot for DIMAGA is if our opponent gets a whole bunch of Vikings to kill off our Broodlords, or if he just gets a lot more stuff. In a sense, expansions, we're not going to lose this game because he got way ahead economically. I mean, economy is sort of falling apart in all regards. This is not really the winning economy. We're going to lose this game if he gets some key units up. So I think MVP being very cheeky, throwing down the Contaminate on the factory, but most notably, DIMAGA goes for just the production structures, namely the starport, and then pulls as much as he can out of there. So watch this. Everything lifts, and then he just leaves. Very easy as a Zerg player to sort of autopilot in the base trade and just be like, okay, well, I'll kill depots to supply block him. But we don't lose this game. We don't lose this game because he was able to remax a killed army. We lose this game because this army plus some other key units kills us. So shutting down the production accomplishes that. And that's a pretty straightforward pullback. We have his economy screwed. Changelings in the main. And then a nice little cleanup move here from DIMAGA. Overseers, get in there for God's sake. But this, I would describe as a pretty interesting mix of things that went right and wrong. Everything that happened at the start was a lot of right things in a row, especially the taking of this, and then when it got up, readjusting the plan. Attacking here and moving down and building the spines over here. But it was like that attack without Overseers that permitted all those mines to stay alive, that put DIMAGA way far behind where he was. Which was still a pretty good position. And then just building the Doom Force, going for the trade, cleverly killing off the key buildings, and then rapidly pulling back. Just a really, really nice game. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the second game in this series. Alright, let's... Please tell me you can hear me. My God, I look like Krusty the Clown. Like that. Insta-crustied. Alright, let's go to the round of 32 group. Going into the next game. Look at this sexy background. Alright, number 2. LGIM MVP. Building supply di Depororo. I almost whistled the N64 version. The do 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 do. Listen! Oh, kill her. Kill her immediately. Stop telling me to listen. I know it's an N64 cartridge and you just want to keep playing the same sound bit again and again to save space, but it's killing the children. Listen! No, you listen, Barry. Hey! Hey! I'm gonna ignore her. I would totally do this to her. I would Control-S the shit out of her. Anyways, DIMAGA is doing the usual mix of going for the 17 extractor, getting up the metabolic boost, hanging out here, has seen nothing, has seen no Reaper. Okay, he could be expanding or doing some sort of cheeky, annoying crap. That's fine. We get 3 queens early on to permit us to stay alive. We're going for this third base at 6 minutes. Doesn't this look familiar? This is almost never a cheese, and that's kind of a meta read. MVP is not really a cheesa. But we're still saying to ourselves, around the 7-minute mark is when I'm going to start going, dude, seriously, where are the Hellions? You must not really be going Hellions at all. So a couple Zerglings get produced by MVP. He moves, or excuse me, by DIMAGA. Instantly gets the layer as he can afford it, adding on these extra thingies. And then he sees the Hellions. Yes! We are up against Standard play. Standard. So we can actually, in response, build Zerglings. 7 minutes is about when we get ourselves around those Zerglings. So we see 6 Hellions. 4 Hellions is often a sign that he is going for tank. What are the 3 categories of play that he can be going for? He can be going for random junk aggression. He can be going for that... Ooh. Is that Hellions 7 and 8? No, that's Hellions 5, 6, sorry. Could be going junk aggression. Could be going for a fast push like he did last game at around the 10-minute mark. The sort of harass-style push into a third base. Or he could just be going mega power upgrades. These 3 things we will be concerned about. And this Overlord is providing us a nice little look at what's up. So we see sort of an interesting maneuver from DIMAGA, going Roach Warren Baneling Nest. This is almost always a bust-style strategy. Or it's DIMAGA going, geez, I'm actually terrified of mech right now. I am really terrified of some ultra-fast Hellion push killing my business. But this would normally be a bust, but it was built late. So in this circumstance, I think DIMAGA still is likely to be doing the more modern non-aggression attack. Or excuse me, non-aggression maneuver of just getting Baneling speed and getting another hatchery. Life popularized the hell out of that. It's the very, very, very delayed Spire. Delayed because we just don't have these geysers yet. DIMAGA built a lot of Lings because there's a lot of issues defending at the start. There's this attack path, there's this whole attack angle, and then of course there's drops in the main. Worst of all, if they go and drop in the main and you send all your Lings here, they just kind of go zoink and drop, and then you have to work all the way around. So I think this is the map where we see, by and large, the most excessive production of Lings between 7 and 8 minutes. So great, so we see this command center going down. We see the mine. I want you to note that now we know exactly what our opponent is up to. This command center cannot be here if he was going for some sort of aggressive 930 push. If MVP did the same push he did last game, he would not physically possibly have this orbital command. So now, DIMAGA can, in response, build Roaches. Not just, brr, my build is to just go Roach Baneling. He can, in response from seeing this and seeing this, go Roaches. Because we know our opponent is going to be low on general bio. He's going to have some mines, but he's now out in the open. Let's take a break and finish this sucker up. Finishing this bad boy after this break, yeah.